Hi, this is just another video on a mod that I've produced recently. This is the Skyrim details update for PS4 and PS5. What I've focused on this time is using changes to the configuration file to increase things like grass, draw distance, shadows, trees and rocks and other little details. So I'll just do some running commentary on the upcoming slides and you'll be able to see for yourself. So here in this first scene, just on the left hand side, there's some shadows that have been extended and some little rocks further down that have changed. On this scene we have, on the left hand banking, we've now got grass and shadows appearing underneath the trees, and on the right hand side we've also got a little bit of detail at the path as well. Other things as well, like the animation of the trees, that also happens at a further distance as well, giving more life to the environment. Okay, in this next one you can see hopefully quite a significant change. Riverwood now has walls, rocks, grass and other objects within the little town, and also across the river as well. You should be able to see other details such as cliff faces and things rendered in. Just a small change down the bottom end, we've got extra grass. On the left hand side the grass has changed slightly, so it's not as dense, but that compromises that you can actually see it. It's actually drawn a greater distance. And then finally in the top right we've got Bleakfall's Barrow that now has more geometry to it in the update.
What is it, woman? Sven drunk on the job again? Raylo, what are you doing here? Huh. I'll be right down.
Another good one to look at, we've got now grass and shadows under the trees down in the valley. They've been extended much further, and then there's a whole series of rocks and other cliff face things along the path that are now drawn in. Here you can see grass has now appeared down in the valley. We've also got more detail in Wrighton, and another thing to look out for is the second windmill has increased geometry so that it's got its sails. And another thing is also on the cliffside, you should be able to see the rocks change in the geometry slightly increased. And then finally the trees as well, also animating at a further distance. For this one, we now have a shadow under the tower that's now been rendered in due to the draw distance. Some objects over to the right, such as the bones, and also the fortress in the background has also increased geometry. Another odd one on this is that you've got a series of clouds across the mountain. I'm not quite sure whether that's just because it's a varying weather effect or not, but interesting all the same. On this one, we've just got some small changes to the rocks on the right. The trees are now animating again from a further distance, and the house in the middle has also now got its fence and a few other bits of geometry. And then finally, just some small changes with this scene. We've got a small shadow that's now appeared right at the very bottom of the screen next to the bridge. The trees in the foreground are animating, and there's a few different rocks and cliff face things dotted among the springs in the middle. And that's it really. If you enjoyed this, please leave a comment and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.